give our guests a warm welcome.
Tell them about the judging.
This morning, when he was telling somebody that we met when I was judging this competition that he was in, he asked me, when does the judging stop?
That's horrible. I'm just kidding. Yeah, thank you guys for coming this morning, and we really appreciate you coming out. And yeah, we're just gonna play some songs and talk a little bit, and hopefully have some time for some questions. And then I think this is my wife right here. I think she's gonna send around a email list or something. Just
Should we do that at the beginning?
Sure.
Brittany.
So if you can, then she'll put a pin with it too, I think. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the retreat that I'm really excited about. That's coming up in April. That I would love for you guys to consider being a part of. So, but yeah, like Hannah was saying, I was in the same seat that you guys are sitting in when I was in one of the songwriting showcases. I think it was my junior year or sophomore year, and when I heard that Gordan was going to be the guest judge performer that night, I was really excited because I grew up listening to "Change the World," that Eric Clapton song, and he of course wrote that with a couple other guys, and so that was just a thrill to be a part of that night. And I'll just say, if you guys don't have a mentor or somebody that you can work with or walk alongside, I would highly encourage you to pursue one, and just look for somebody who is in the same field that you are looking at getting into, and just somebody that you can bounce questions off of and meet for coffee even, and just be able to avoid some of the same mistakes that they may have made when they were in your shoes, and because people are really willing to help, especially when you're still getting a degree in whatever you're pursuing.
So, do you know of people that have organized mentorship programs? Like I know Naris does and has in the past. I'm not sure if they still do, but you can check with places like that. And do you know of anywhere else?
Does NSAI at all?
I don't know. There might be someplace to check, but I know Naris does the mentorship program.
Yeah, so thank you guys again. We'll just play a couple songs, and I think the first couple songs we're going to do are off of an EP that Gordan produced that about a year and a half ago now. On me. It's my EP, which we're going to give away copies of at the end. So these two songs are going to be on. So do you have anything to add to that? Did I forget anything?
The judging stopped at one time.
This is my miniature keyboard, by the way. It's easier to carry around.
There is this girl, I think she's lovely, like she fell out of the sky. I'd love to hold her, I've never told her, 'cause you know who am I. I see her from the window of my heart, I feel her in the atmosphere. She's standing on the other side of my field.
plays Gordan, by the way. I also brought my really nice keyboard stand to match the Vince Gill. Vince Gill room. Are you guys songwriting majors at all? Can you hear me through this at all? Does it work? So you're a songwriting major? Nobody else?
Wow.
But how many of you guys write songs? So you guys are all qualified songs. This next song is one called Bare Feet. I wrote it with a lady named Georgia Middleman. Any Keith Urban fans in the room? She wrote a song called I'm In that was out last year on the radio and stuff. Almost was her first #1 song. It got to #2 on the Billboard chart.
So close.
#1 in Canada. It does count. It does. I'm going to try not to throw my keyboard during this song. Alright, okay. Looks like the rain is on its way. The storm could be biggest one we'll ever see. But I was thinking, little while never hurt nobody. Got a free day, nothing to do. Let's go jump in a puddle too. Yeah, I just wanna get soaking wet. I just wanna let go of everything. I just take you by the hand and we'll dance and we'll sing in the street in our bare feet. Stomp in the rain to the beat in our bare feet. Wanna feel just like Gene Kelly skipping down that sidewalk. All we need is a street lamp and a movie screen. So don't open that umbrella. Some things in this world go better with big rain, long list, nothing to do when it starts like this. Yeah, I just wanna get so. I wanna take you by the hand. Let's let go of everything. We'll dance, we'll sing in the street in our bare feet. Stomp in the rain to the beat in our bare feet. It's such a temperamental sky, but where's the fun in staying dry? I just wanna get soaking wet. I just wanna let go of everything. I wanna take you by the hand and we'll dance and we'll sing in the street in our bare feet. Stomp in the rain to the beat in our bare feet. Dance and we'll sing in the street in our bare feet. Stomp in the rain to the beat in our bare feet. You and me in the street. You and me to be in our bare feet. Yeah. Sound man. Is there sound man in the house? Let's see if I can turn it up. There is a sound man in the house. I know there is. Officially or unofficially. We're talking about changing.
This one's on.
That's why I was forgetting the words.
You couldn't hear him. He didn't forget him. You just couldn't hear him.
Couldn't hear the right words because I was singing the wrong words.
So that mic is still not on. There it is. Well, there's something wrong with it. And when he hits it, you can hear it, but when he sings, you can't.
That's all right. We can keep going because you're going to do
What do you want to do?
Change the World.
Want to do that?
You guys know the song Change the World. Can you tell a little bit about the story of
Oh,
how
sure.
that
Yeah.
progressed?
Well, I mean, this goes back to many years ago when a friend of mine, Wayne Kirkpatrick, myself went into the studio. We were trying to do the get the record deal kind of approach, and had a label in New York that was interested in us for a year. They kept sending us back to the studio because they, as they would say, found in the first 4 songs we turned in, we can get you an alternative hit, you know, with this batch of tunes, but go and give us a pop hit. So we would go back to the studio, and over the course of a year, we kept turning in, you know, 2 more songs, 3 more songs here and there. And then culminating, I'm going to give you the short version here, which we'll do the long version that Songbird can't, but at the end of a year, we finally get an answer from this label about whether or not they're going to sign us as an act, and it was no. And also that they just didn't hear the hit in the tunes that we had. And this was one of those songs, you know. So this thing, can I turn the guitar down just a tiny bit? Sorry. That's good. But what happened, though, our consolation prize, if you will, was that Winona Judd put the song on hold. She was going to record it, but through starting a family and some personal things and going on in her life, that record that was an album called Revelations took like 2.5 years before it came out from the first sessions that we were doing. And we were told that this song would be a single from that record, and by the summer of '96, we had seen her label put out 3 singles from Revelations album, and none of them were our song. So we had, we were very disappointed. Again, the first time trying to be an artist, told no, we're going to pass. We don't hear the hit. Now Winona's going to put the song out. It's going to be a big hit single. No, that didn't happen. And so, just about the time we were digesting all of this, second time around disappointment, we get a call that Eric Clapton's going to do the song, and it's going to be for the soundtrack for the movie Phenomenon, John Travolta movie. So that was our consolation gift, and like I said, there's way more to that story that I'll be happy to tell when we have more time. But you're getting better.
Hello.
Hey, there it is.
What happened? I think you just stepped on the right.
I'll do the short version. You're gonna have to play solo. Yeah. If I could reach the stars, pull one down for you, shine on my heart, so you can see the truth, that this love I have inside is everything it seems. But for now I find only in my dreams I can change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. Baby, if I could change the world. If I could be the king, even for a day, is one of those that kind of keeps making laps around the globe. You know, it won 3 Grammys in '97 at the awards in New York City, and then since then, you know, and now as the song gets older and that is further into the, you know, the past, and I go and I talk to students, and I realize that some of you were probably maybe 4 or 5 years old when that happened. I remember my little girl running up. My in-laws told me that she went and kissed the TV when I was on TV, you know, at the Grammys, and now she's a sophomore in college, and so I have to realize that maybe even when I say Eric Clapton did this, that I need to explain who that is, you know. And then sometimes I'll be saying, you know, Eric Clapton recorded this song, and I get this glazed over look. And then I say, and you know, and recently it was covered by T-Pain, P. Diddy, Akon, and Mary J. Blige. What? You know. So and then it's been in another movie in the last couple of years too, another Harrison Ford movie, Extraordinary Measures. So it's been the end title in a couple of films. Japanese whiskey ad, the Ford United Auto Workers, the Environmental Protection Agency. It's a toy. You've seen that air guitar thing that I have that has that song in the bank of tunes in it, and it just kind of keeps. It's one of those things that they call a copyright. You know, your publisher will refer to it as a copyright, a real copyright. And I've been told it's better to have one of those than 10 #1, you know, country songs in this town or something. It's, I mean, not country over pop or pop over country or whatever, but just something like that that becomes, you know, a standard or as they refer to, like I said, as a real copyright. So we're all trying to achieve that, and it's very accidental, I can assure you. Sometimes it's from doing what you believe in. It's I don't think, and I know Ben and I don't waste a lot of time sitting down to write, scheduling an appointment to write, and looking at each other going, now let's look at the charts. Okay, who do we want to try to write a song for? That's really, some people can do that and it works for them, but we sit down and we say, let's write a song that we really love, and then, you know, maybe something happens with it, maybe nothing happens with it, but that's our approach. And sometimes there's Change the World, sometimes there's 8 songs that he and I wrote together on that Skaggs Mosaic record, you know. But it's from doing what we believe we're supposed to be doing, and we love what we do, so that helps.
Do you guys have any questions before we do a couple more songs? Just for
talk about that Songbird camp at some point?
Yeah, we will. At the end, Brittany will get up and say a few things about the retreat that we're doing.
And we'll go in, and at that retreat, we'll go into a little more details on stuff, you know, stories behind songs.
You'll hear the true story of Change the World. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Not that live.
Do you guys have any questions for Gordan, or certainly not for me?
Shut up and play your keyboard, guitar.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Now's the time. No questions. Well, this next song is one that President Fisher told me and Gordan is his favorite song of the last year. So we got that going for us. Yeah. This is the title song off of the Ricky Skaggs album that was a cool story, the way we even ended up having the opportunity to write some songs for that record was just exactly what he was saying. We sat down to write songs that we believed in, and it wasn't, you know, if we had tried to write a song for Ricky Skaggs, we would have missed the boat because he ended up taking a total left turn direction.
We would have been trying to write bluegrass songs.
Right.
And that wasn't what he gravitated towards. So I sent him a bunch of tunes, and all these tunes that we were working on is what he jumped on.
So, even to the point where Gordan sent a CD of potential songs for Ricky, and it got intercepted first by somebody at his label, and they took off the first 3 songs that he and I had written because they were not bluegrass enough. And then Ricky ended up hearing the original CD that was sent over, and he only chose the 3 that were taken off. So it was that different. I mean, these are a little more Beatley, poppy kind of songs. So anyway, this is the title track, and the title idea for this song actually came from a screensaver on the Apple computers, the screensaver called Mosaic, where it takes a picture and it looks all over your hard drive for photos, and it will you see it starts with one and it starts to fade back, and you see other pictures around it, and then as it gets further away, you realize that it's forming another picture out of all the individual pictures, and so that's that was the basis for this song. So.
Carve my name upon the tree, knife into the bark, trying to make a mark so they can remember me. Wanting to matter to someone, maybe be a reason why, be the apple of the night before my life is done. And all I'm saying is I'm in a place where all I'm praying is I see my face in your mosaic, and I am at peace in the deal. And it is real. Tell me who it is you see. A little piece of covered stone, placed here on its own to me, a mystery. So many grains of sand, could they all be the same? Would they see the name engraved on your hand? And all I'm saying is I'm in a place where all I'm praying is I see my face in your mosaic, and I am at peace in a deal. And it is real. I catch a glimpse of your lovely idea, and that can be enough, that can be enough. All I'm saying is I'm in a place where all I'm praying is I see my face in your mosaic. You are at peace with me, and it is sealed. It is sealed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so and since then we've been working on the title of the last album was Mosaic, and we've been writing more songs for Ricky's next album, or the one after the next, whenever. I think he's doing a bluegrass one right now, but we've been referring to as Mosaic as the one that follows this one, and so we've been writing some songs for that. I don't know if you want to try to do.
You know the lyric, do you?
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, would you mind?
I got all the
I
lyrics.
just want to make sure on this. And do you have like a piece of furniture I could put this on? Or? No, that's
You borrow my keyboard stand? Seriously, I do this a lot.
I think that's all right. Come to me, all of you who are weak and heavy laden. Seek me first, anytime you thirst, and you will find I turn the water into wine. show my love for you and that you are mine. I turn from water to wine. My branches never run dry. Abide in me, I am thine. Oh, yes, I proved to be my disciple. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Let my Father divine just be glorified. I turn the water to wine. My branches never run dry. Abide in me, I am thine. Way in the truth and light. The eternal endless light. Abide in me, I am thine. Thanks very much.
So I'm going to invite my wife up real quick to talk a little bit about the retreat we're doing and give you a little bit more details about that. Let's thank Gordan Kennedy for coming one more time.
Hello. Can you hear me through this? Okay. Basically, we put on a retreat for songwriters. We just started last year, and it's called Songbird Camp. And we did one in the fall, and we had, I think, 8 Belmont students.
8 Belmont students. Then we had people from 7 or 8 different states. In addition to that, we had about 30 people the whole
Yeah,
weekend.
we had people from 7 or 8 different states, and then we had professional songwriters come out. And basically, Ben's been writing for about 3 years, and just felt like there was a need to just.
Professional.
Well, sorry, yeah. Ben's had a publishing deal for about 3 years, and just felt like there was a need for just getting different writers out, getting students and professional writers and people from all over the place to just come out to one place and have a weekend to talk about creativity and the industry and writing, and just to have a little bit of time to co-write too. So that's basically what Songbird Camp is, and so we, like I said, we did one in the fall. It was really fun. We go down to Deer Run Retreat Center, and they have this big, beautiful lodge. It's like a bed and breakfast kind of place, and they have a private chef, and so it's like really delicious food and comfy beds, and it's just a really fun time to get away with people, and it's out in the woods, so it's just really an inspiring place. And so basically then what we do is we bring different industry people. Like this time Gordan always comes out, and then we'll bring out a couple different writers. We'll bring like an engineer and a publisher, and we just give those people time to talk, and we give you time to ask questions. And our thought with that is just, especially for Belmont students, our thought is just, you know, if you're taking all these classes and you're interested in writing, or you're interested in being an artist even, but you want to take that a step further and say, okay, I already want to get plugged into the industry a little bit. What does this look like? Then this is just a great way to kind of take another step and meet people and talk to people and kind of become part of that dialogue. And so essentially our next one is actually April 20th through the 22nd. And we can give you a brochure, and I also will have little cards in the back that just have that date. And our website is songbirdcamp.com, and you can find all the information on there. You can email us with any questions, and we'll give you this brochure. And then also, if you put your email address on that email sheet, or if you want to before you leave, and then if you take an application as well, we just printed off some applications, then we'll go ahead and give you Ben's EP, and this is the one they were talking about, that the first few songs were from. Gordan produced it. They co-wrote, I think, almost all the songs on it. So if you have any questions, we decided to end a little bit early so that you can talk to Gordan, talk to Ben, talk to me, and we'd love to just tell you a little more about the retreat. But
And also, do you guys know who Matt Wertz is? He's going to be coming out on the Friday night at the retreat and playing and hanging out, and so I'm really excited about that because he's a great singer-songwriter.
yeah.
And and also, how many of you guys have ever co-written with somebody else? So that's it can be a lot like dating. It can be a lot like an awkward first date in a lot of ways. So we also have somebody there who's an expert on collaboration and what it means to work with somebody who's different than you, and realizing things that, like, okay, if I'm introverted, or if I am maybe a stronger personality, I need to be aware of that when I walk into a co-write with somebody else, because I can inadvertently ruin an opportunity to write a great song with them. A lot of the important things that we'll talk about on that weekend really apply to songwriting, but it's not necessarily about, okay, here's how to rhyme this word with this word. It's not necessarily that at all. It's more, okay, how do I be a great collaborator? How do I be somebody who people really want to work with? Because I could have easily walked into the first co-write with Gordan, and just out of being nervous about writing with the guy who wrote one of my favorite songs, I could have easily said, okay, I got to come across as really confident. I want him to think I know what I'm doing, and easily have made it an experience that Gordan would have said, I don't think I need to write with that guy anymore. That could have easily happened, and that would have sabotaged an entire relationship that goes beyond songwriting now. And realizing that there are some really valuable things that I've experienced and that I've learned from Gordan that I haven't learned in a classroom, and I haven't learned from even just writing with somebody else, but it's been through dialoguing with other songwriters about how do I be a great songwriter beyond just writing a melody or a lyric. And there's so much more than that, especially in being in a place like Nashville. It's a unique place full of songwriters, and it's a small world. So if you ruin enough first impressions on people, then that gets around pretty quickly. So it's we're trying to create the experience that I wish I had when I was in your guys' seat. Something where I felt like I'm at a place where I'm saying, yeah, I'm really serious about songwriting. I want to pursue music. I know I want to do that for a living. And what does that look like? And how do I connect with people who are also as serious as I am? So that's really what it is. That's the heart behind it.
And I would just add too that another thing we're kind of incorporating into this retreat is sort of the entrepreneurial side. Hannah had mentioned Dr. Cornwell has a session on Friday, and Ben was an entrepreneurship minor, and he's just realized all the value of being able to record your own songs and do a lot of things on your own that you might not think of. You might think like, well, I just want to write songs, or I just want to perform. But as I'm sure people at Belmont are telling you all the time, like, you have to have a bigger tool set than that. And so that's kind of one thing that we'll be really focusing on with this retreat too.
Yeah, we're bringing one of my favorite demo engineers out he's going to do an hour and a half long thing. He'll bring microphones, he'll do examples in different Pro Tools, Logic, those kind of things. So just saying, how do you record a great home demo? Because it's too easy to, that's a really practical way to set yourself apart from the next songwriter. Everybody has GarageBand, everybody can record something on their phone, but the honest reality that I've experienced in the last few years is the people that you want to pitch those songs to don't have enough imagination to hear a great song through a bad recording compared to an okay song through a good recording. They're going to err on the side of, man, that sounds really good, but they don't always have the imagination to hear, okay, this doesn't sound as great audibly, but I know that's a great song. So helping all of us figure out how to not
spoon feed them.
Yeah, spoon feed the people that we're pitching the songs to, and not sabotage our opportunities by losing something in the translation of, we pour ourselves into a song, but then if we don't record it well enough to for somebody to get the idea of what it is, then we can easily miss opportunities.
Yeah. So anyway, take time, talk to us. I'll be in the back, and I'd love to give you this EP, give you an application, and answer any questions. So.
And if you come on the retreat, you'll have the chance of seeing Brittany at 7 months pregnant. We're expecting in June right now, so that'll be worth seeing.
We'll see how we do.
Anyway, so thank you guys for coming out again, and I'm sure Hannah has something that she's going to scan people with back there. Or something. Okay. But we'll be hanging around for a few minutes, and love for you guys to get a copy of the CD and an application if you're interested in the retreat. We're working with, we have also I should mention this, we have NSAI and BMI, ASCAP, CSAC are all sponsors of the retreat, so they all came out in October and they all know what we're doing and are incredibly encouraging and behind us. And then also we're working with Fall State, Vanderbilt, MTSU students, but I have a special place in my heart for Belmont students. So this is the only place that I'm bringing Gordan to. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, and please ask any questions.